What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday, TGIF. This is the degen here on Casino Gaming TV. We're bringing you the daily wager. Today, we're talking horses, all right? Craig's already here. Mint Julep Fridays, you know it, all right? We're talking horses today. We got the Preakness coming up this weekend. Also, for those of you who are interested, the Black-Eyed Susan race is today at Pimlico. All right, so I'm going to do a mini little preview on the Black-Eyed Susan. I'll give you some picks for that as well. And then we'll hop into the Preakness discussion. And I'm looking forward to it. So Kentucky Derby was 2 weeks ago. Picks that I put in Discord, not so great. However, I did say I liked Mage on the show. Didn't listen to myself. I was kicking myself. But it is what it is. We're talking horses today. All right, so you guys know what to expect already. The legal notices, the picks are going to continue. I don't have picks today on the show. They're going to be put in Discord after the show today. All right, so stay tuned for those. A couple good soccer matches this afternoon that I'll be betting on. I already know what the picks are going to be, but I have to actually put them together and get the lines and all that kind of stuff. All right. And, see? Learn something new every day. I didn't know that. Not from Maryland. I'm from Philly. Got my Cowboys hat on, but this is a cowboy hat, not a Cowboys hat. If I was wearing a Cowboys hat, I'd put a diaper on top of my head. Anyway, the Black-Eyed Susan is the state flower of Maryland for anyone who cares. All right. All right. Enough of that. All right. So for the daily wager, okay, I told you we're talking about the Preakness today, and I'm also going to go into the Black-Eyed Susan. So let's get that going, huh? Actually, I don't even know what I made my slides on. First up, today, obviously, Preakness. Next week, there's been some discussion in Discord about hedging, cashing out, and then finding player props to bet. So that will be next week's shows. All right, so I'll do a show on hedging, a show on cashing out, and how I look for player props to bet and why I bet them, things like that. So we're going to go over all that kind of stuff next week. So if you're interested in that, there you go. All right. Let's talk some ponies. All right. Black-Eyed Susan is the race today. All right. The post time is approximately 5:44. Again, for those of you who don't watch horse racing a lot, don't show up at 5:50. You're going to know who won already. All right, so make sure you're in front of that TV around 5:40, 5:35. If you're like degen, you're in front of the TV at like 5 o'clock, just waiting for the horses to go. All right, but Black-Eyed Susan race is all fillies, so it's females that are racing. All right, it's today at Pimlico, which is in Maryland, which Craig pointed out. The Black-Eyed Susan is the state flower of Maryland. The length is going to be 1 1/8 miles. All right, so it's a little shorter than the actual Preakness race. It's a 1/16 of a mile shorter, but that race is today. Question from Craig. Do you talk about the different racetrack lengths for the Triple Crown or like you do for holes for golf tournaments? I do mention the tracks, and my picks are based on the track itself. There's not so for this race, right? The Preakness coming up, it's a 1 3/16 of a mile. The Derby was 1 1/4. So it matters a little bit, slightly less. Now some of the races that these horses are going into previously, I do look at that kind of stuff because some of the horses don't have great split times down towards the end of the race. So that on a shorter track looks worse on a longer track. All right. So yes, I do talk about the lengths. All right. So, why won't my screen switch? There we go. All right. So here's the horses in the Black-Eyed Susan. The stars are the horses I like, and I'm going to go over why I like them and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to give you a quick preview of all of the horses very, very quickly, and we'll hop into it. I got my notes on the iPad over here because there's just too many to put up on the screen. So Sacred Wish is at 10-1 right now. She's going to be up on the rail looking for potential to come out there. Sacred Wish would be a horse that I would be interested in, but not one of my favorites. But Sacred Wish could be a good choice there. Coming off the rail with Velasquez as the jockey, experienced rail jockey there, get the horse out off the rail pretty quick and up in the lead. So if Sacred Wish does grab a lead early, look for that horse to close it out. Pate or Pate, whatever you want to call the horse, I don't even know. Not too worried about this horse. Doesn't even have a chance. All right, not even going to worry about talking about this horse. Hoosier Filly. So this was a horse that could have potentially run in the Derby as of last year, or even so there were some rumblings in the fall that this horse could potentially run in the Derby, but some bad performances made that not possible for the horse to run in the Derby. But good little horse here. All right, very good little horse here. Pretty quick, and looking for a good race out of this horse here. Morales on the reins, and Tom Amos as the trainer. So as you can see, the stars there. One of my likes for this Black Eyed Susan race later on this afternoon. The 4-horse Merlaza at 6-1. It's a Brad Cox horse. Florian Giroux will be on the reins. Good horse here. Love this horse. This is one of my favorite horses in this race. My second favorite horse in this race. But she's won her last 3 starts, and has been improving on each of the last 3 races. So I'm looking for a good and a strong effort out of the horse in this one here. So Merlaza is certainly one of my picks. Frosty O'Toole is a Todd Pletcher trained horse, right? So we know Pletcher's good trainer, but don't expect too much from this horse. In her last race, couldn't get out of the gate strong, didn't have a great race overall, and then came up okay in a previous race, second place. This horse isn't speaking to me. All right, this horse isn't telling me that she wants to be bet on, so I'm not betting on that horse. But interesting horse. Again, trainer and Joel Rosario is going to be on the reins, so has a chance. But based off previous racing and previous records, not a fan of this one, especially in this field that we have going up. Miracle at 10-1 is another Todd Pletcher horse with Irad Ortiz on the reins. Decent record, I guess, so far. But I think here she's going to get beat out by a couple of these other horses that I like a tad better based on just speed alone. Could be a good finisher in this race, but I look for the gap to be a little bit too big to close. Miracle may hit the board. Don't see a Miracle hitting the board, though. I see Miracle finishing in like a 4, maybe a 5 spot. Kind of upper middle of the pack. Don't see the horse closing too well. The 7th horse is Comparative. It's a Brad Cox horse with Luis Saez on the reins, and has been racing well. The problem is I think there's just too little of experience here. I think the horse needs to run a little bit more, and especially in a race with the caliber of horses that are here now, I don't look for this horse to do too well. Ballpool's an interesting one. Rob Atras is the trainer. Manny Franco will be on the reins. Coming off a nice win in her last race. It was a turf race. But she was quick in that race, all right? And she ended up winning her last dirt race by like 9.5 lengths. Now, again, not the same caliber of horses, but good horse here, and that's why I like a Ballpool quite a bit later on this afternoon. My favorite horse here is going to be Faiza. It's 7-5, obviously the favorite here. Not a shock. So this horse didn't race in the Kentucky Oaks, skipped it. Would have been the favorite there most likely, but she skipped the race. Trainer skipped the race. Trainer here, Bob Baffert. All right, obviously wasn't involved in the Kentucky Derby because not allowed in Kentucky racing. But Bob Baffert trained horse. Flavian Pratt will be on the reins. Great trainer jockey combo there. Faces undefeated in her last 5 starts, and she has a running style that favors this track very, 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 very highly. All right, and it's hard for me to see any of these other horses beating her. I think she's been running very, very well. Her times have been quite good as of late. Again, 5-0 in her last 5 starts. Looking for that 6th win here. Taxed. Interesting long shot here. If you're looking for a long shot, this would be the longest I'd go, personally speaking. Randy Morse is the trainer. Rafael Bejarano is the jockey. 2 starts, came in second in both of them. And think that, if the horse can get out from the gates nicely and be sitting in that mid-pack, it may have a chance here. But that's the farthest I'd go in terms of long shots. Not going to spend too much time here on these other 2 horses. Cats in the Timber, 30-1. They won a race, but the pace of that race was so slow that I really don't think that Cats in the Timber is going to be a real factor here. The other one is Towhead at 20-1. 7th in her last race, a 5th in another one. Coming from the outside, doesn't interest me too much. Yes, Tyler Gaffleone's on the reins, but doesn't interest me too much. All right. So my horses here that I like, obviously the stars are there. We like Feza a lot. I like Merlaza a lot. Hoosier Philly. Wow, I can't speak today. And Ballpool, if you want a little bit of a long shot there, I'd go Taxed. But my top 3 picks here would be the 9, the 4, and the 3. So Phasia, Merlaza, and Hoosier Philly are my picks for the Black Eyed Susan. Later on this afternoon, I will be putting them in exactas and boxing them, trifectas and boxing them, and then I'll probably throw a super out there with maybe Ballpool or Taxed. But my top 3 are going to be the 9, the 4, and the 3 horses here. All right. So obviously not the Preakness there, but interesting little race today for my little degenerates who want a horse race today. And you want to bet on some ponies, I will be watching the race, and that's who I will be betting on. All right. Thank you. I think, John, you missed my earlier comment. I said I was wearing my Cowboys hat, but I meant to say cowboy hat because if I was wearing my Cowboys hat, I'd have a diaper on my head. And I know John likes Merlaza and Feza, so same page there. But yeah, 9, 3, and 4 are my 3 picks there. All right, the 9, the 3, and the 4. All right, the Preakness. Let's get into this. All right, big race obviously this weekend on Saturday, which is tomorrow. And if you're watching this tomorrow, well, then the race is today. And if you're watching on Sunday, well, I'm sorry you missed out on the picks and the analysis because the race is already over. But the race is going to be at Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore. All right, not too far from Craig, I don't think. 1 3/16 miles. It'll be on NBC. Post time is around 7 o'clock. Again, like I said for the Derby and like I said for the Black Eyed Susan, don't turn the TV on at 7 o'clock. Get out there a little bit early. All right, you don't need a ton of time, but let's get that TV on and early. All right. Why are my screens? All right, here we go. So the field for the Preakness. All right. It's smaller than the Derby, right? The Derby had 19 horses after quite a few were scratched. There's only 1 horse from the Derby, which would be Mage, who was the Derby winner. So the horses, there's only 7 of them, all right? There was 8 as of this morning. First mission was scratched this morning due to the vet wanting to scratch the horse. Didn't see too much about it, but I'll trust the vet's opinion there. Yeah, it is. But so with 7 horses, right, it's tough to make a ton of money, but we can do it. All right, there's not some crazy long shots in here. There are, but we're not going to worry about them too much. And I'll talk through the horses here in a minute. But degen is sad, okay? And we're going to talk about why I'm sad. This is a tough one for me, all right? Because I'm a big horse enthusiast, only seeing 7 horses here. Obviously, the Preakness is never as well attended as the Derby. There's less horses that could even get in there, but only having 7 horses is kind of saddening to me, all right? Also, only 1 horse from the Derby being in there makes me a little bit sad as well. I'd like to see some of those Derby horses race this week, but it brings up an interesting concept and an interesting thought is there a change that's needed in the amount of timing between races? So for those of you who don't know, the three huge races in horse racing, the Triple Crown, all right, it's the Kentucky Derby, it's the Preakness, and it's the Belmont, all right? They're 2 weeks apart from each other. So you got three major races in that 6-week time frame, all right? And there's been some discussion between a lot of people about, is there a need to space these races out a little bit more? And it's an interesting thought. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it as well in chat. But it's tough because you're coming off a tough race of the Derby, right? And then 2 weeks later, you're going up against, again, another tough race against another should-be good field of horses. So a lot of the jockeys or a lot of the trainers decide to just sit their horses out for the Preakness, which makes me a little bit sad because I want to see a good race. I'm not saying the horses there will be, I'm not saying that they would have a huge attendance from the Derby horses, but I think they'd have more, right? I think the 2 week turnaround is too quick, right? If you look at some of these horses with their training and other stuff, I mean, they don't train like that. So I understand the reasoning behind, not submitting as many horses in this race and trainers wanting to sit their horses, but it's saddening as a fan of the races, and I understand the horse safety and all that kind of stuff. Believe me, I want nothing more than the horses to be safe. So I'm thinking, maybe they do need to extend this out a little bit. So, yep, John saying no two Phils or Angel of Empire. Kind of surprised those horses aren't racing. I'd love them if they were. Jay agrees. And it should be 30 days. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I even think 3 weeks would make a big difference here. It's quick. The 2 week turnaround is very, very quick. So, it was tough for put this up. Tough for Predators, must be tough going forward. Otherwise, Triple Crown loses luster. That's true. Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. All right. So let's get about the horses. All right. So same preview that I gave you guys on the Kentucky Derby. All right, we're gonna go horse by horse, and then I'll tell you whether I like them, whether I don't like them, why I like them, why I don't like them, all that kind of stuff. All right. So first up, we got National Treasure. All right, this is a Bob Baffert horse. Again, Baffert is allowed to be a trainer here, unlike in Kentucky. So it's a Bob Baffert horse. John Velasquez will be on the reins. Career record, 5 starts, 1 win, 1 second, 1 third. The speed figures a 101, which is quite good. And what favors this horse quite a bit is that the stalker is, it's a stalker type of horse. So what that means is the horse is going to be sitting in mid-pack of sorts, maybe towards the back end of the pack, looking to break out quite a bit. So like this horse quite a bit here. And has had some good previous records, obviously went over some of that stuff. They are kind of switching trainers a little bit, right? So Yakteen's been the trainer since Bob Baffert was suspended, but Baffert's back now. So could be quite good here. And looking forward to this horse having a good race. All right. The second horse in the 2 spot is going to be Chase the Chaos at 50-1. Jockey Sheldon Russell, trainers Ed Moger Jr. This horse, 8 career starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 1 third. Speed figure of a 98. This horse here, I'll be honest with you, this horse has 0 interest of me. All right. Actually has 0 interest from the degen. The races that the horses won, not great caliber of competition. Did win, by a little bit, but the problem with this horse is when it does face against some of these better horses, it's been getting absolutely blown out of the water. So I don't like Chase the Chaos today. The 50-1, don't even worry about the long shot odds there. It's not happening. All right. Go back. We'll chat about the timing real quick. Yeah, it is special. And I would agree. Something needs to be added somehow to make it a little bit more incentive, right? Because you're missing 2 fields. You're missing Age of Empire. Forte's not racing in this one. I know Forte was scratched from the Derby, but like horses that were scratched for some elevated temperatures and some other things. They've been running practice and they've been training since. So I don't know. They may not look like the way they look in the training and stuff, but some of these horses should be in there. Just my thoughts. All right, Mage 8-5, clear favorite here in the Preakness race this weekend. The jockey is going to be Javier Castellano, right? There you go. Yeah, you're not wrong. That horse literally has zero interest of me. Like, I didn't even want to put together a profile on the horse and like do any research because I have no interest in that horse. But Mage going for the second leg of the Triple Crown, right? Obviously won the Derby, clear favorite here, and rightfully so in that 3 spot. Ran a very good race. I don't think this horse ran the best race in the Derby, but ran a good enough race to win. I think there was a couple other horses that ran slightly better. One of them being Two Fills. I think Two Fills had a great run from start to finish. May just close it out. So, shooters shoot and finishers finish. What can I say? So this horse, 4 starts, 2 wins, 1 second place. Obviously, did win the Kentucky Derby 2 weeks ago. And looking quite good coming up into this race. Again, some of the favorites that I liked over this horse in the Derby are not present here, so this horse is a clear favorite. It's a stalker horse and has that closing speed ability as well. The speed figures are 104. It's going to be one of the highest in the out of the horses that are competing here. And I like this horse a lot, obviously. It's going to be tough because it's coming off only 2 weeks of rest, but I think with the horses in the field, Mage does have a good chance of getting that second leg to the Triple Crown. Winning the Belmont for this horse, if it does win the Preakness, may be a little bit of a tougher story, which we'll talk about, obviously, when we get to the Belmont, which is in another 2 weeks. But Mage, clear favorite here. One of my favorite horses was not my favorite horse, okay? I will tell you who my favorite horse was, but it makes me... I already put it up there. Even the Triple Crown in golf. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, a lot of sports have, their stuff spaced out a little bit more. Golf related, yeah. They space their stuff out. PGA Championship's going on right now for anybody who's interested. I think last time I checked, Justin Rose was close to the top of the board. Not gonna check right now, but yeah. All right, next horse. This horse pains me. All right, I love the name of this horse, Coffee with Chris. Right? I mean, John does his coffee and crap, so that's basically Coffee with John. Right? I'm a degenerate, and I drink coffee all day long. So Coffee with Chris, because my name is Chris. For anyone who's new here, love me this name of the horse. Don't love the horse itself though. I don't bet on horses for the names. Sorry. Girlfriend Degen might put a bet on this horse, but not I. And I'll tell you why. So, Jaime Rodriguez is going to be the jockey. John Salzman Jr. is the trainer. 12 starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds, 2/3 for this horse. My main problem here is that the horse has a very low speed figure. It's a 94. Compared to Mage, it's 10 points lower. Which is pretty drastic in speed figures. And it's a horse that likes to press the pace. I look for this horse to try to get out early. I think the pace here is going to be a little bit slower than, like the Derby was. I think this pace is going to be a tad slower. This horse is going to look to press the pace and just get absolutely manhandled towards the end. Wouldn't be shocked if this horse finishes in the 6th or 7th spot. I have the horse in the 6th spot personally. Chase the Chaos will be in the 7th spot, probably losing by like 9 or 10 lengths, if not more. Just my thoughts there. Couple interesting facts about this horse, though. It is a Maryland-based horse, all right? It's raced most of its races in Maryland. There's been only one race that was outside of Maryland for this horse. So does like racing in Maryland, has done okay racing in Maryland, but this horse is not going to be on the Degen's board of horse picks, unfortunately, because the name is great. Great name, bad horse. All right, next horse, 5 Post. Red Route 1, 10-1 odds. Jockey is Joel Rosario. The trainer, Steve Asmussen. 9 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 1/3. Has a decent speed figure at 102. It is a closing style horse. Had some good races early on in the horse's career. However, it's slowly starting to regress from those original and those first performances. And it's been racing okay recently, but the problem is that he's going to have to get out a little bit early in order to have that closing ability, and I don't see the horse getting out there a little bit early. If you want to throw him in in a super, I'm not going to blame you, but this horse doesn't pique my interest too much. Yeah, all I got to say about that one, really. Sounds like a weak field. I've always wondered this about the Triple Crown. Why are we not seeing the 12 best horses on the planet in the race? All right, yeah, this is a very weak field, I'll be honest with you. This might be one of the weakest fields in recent years. For the sole purpose that trainers rest their horses because it's a 2-week turnaround, I think, for the most part. I'd love to see the 12 best horses race here. The thing is that you have to worry about is injury to the horses. They run a tough race in the Derby, coming back 2 weeks, injury prone, running in this one as well. So, that's what it is. With all the attention and money, a horse that's, yeah, you're not wrong. You're certainly not wrong. All right. And this one here coming up. All right. We're going to talk about the next horse here. And this is one that, John, you're probably going to think is another one of those horse SHIT horses. All right. Perform 15-1 odds. Jockey is Feargal Lynch. Shug McGaughy is the trainer. 7 starts, 2 wins, 1 second, 1 third. Speed figure of a 98, not a great speed figure, but the horse is a stalker horse, so again, likes to be off the lead and then close towards the middle, towards the end of the race. Here's a very, very interesting fact for you, though, about this horse. All right, this horse in its career, all right, 7 starts, 2 wins, 1 second, 1 third, has earned $130,000, $131,000 if you want to round up a little bit. All right. You know what it costs to enter the Preakness? $150,000. So they paid more for this horse to enter into this race than the horse has won in its career. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting there from the trainer. Obviously, though, the trainer's not going to enter a race that they don't think they can win, right? Why would you pay the $150,000 just to put a horse in there that hasn't won? If the horse can win and they think it can win, they're going to put the horse in for the race. So, has had some okay races as of late. Had some bad races towards the mid stretch of that 7 starts, but has a good amount of stamina in this horse as well. So wouldn't be shocked if this horse is up close to the top towards the end and then tries to close it out. Will it get snubbed out towards the end? It may. I do think it will, but I think this horse is going to run a good race close to the top of the pack, and then don't think it's going to win, but I do think this horse could hit the board. All right. For all my craps fans out there, here you go. All right. Blazing Sevens, if you're a craps fan, if you are superstitious about that kind of stuff, Blazing Sevens, I mean, tell me a craps number that's worse than 7 on the table if you're betting light side. Your dark side could be your home run hitter, right? So, good little horse here, though. 6-1 odds. Irad Ortiz Jr. is the jockey. Chad Brown is the trainer. All right. 6 starts, 2 wins, 2 third places, and this horse is a closer of a horse. All right. Again, what that means, this horse likes to sit in the back and then come through and just kind of jolt past everybody in the end. Didn't race, obviously, in the Derby. None of these horses have, other than Mage. But good horse here. Speed figures in 98. A little bit lower than where I'd like it to be, but with the pace of this race, I think that's actually going to favor Blazing Sevens here. I don't think that the pace should be too quick that Blazing Sevens is going to drop back and have to run too fast in the beginning. So I think it will have that closing ability. You got the Brown Ortiz matchup here as well. So good numbers for this horse as well. And then I'm quickly going to touch on who my favorite horse was. Not up on the screen right now, but First Mission was my favorite horse going into this week. I thought First Mission would beat out Mage. First Mission was my guy this week, but not meant to be. It's a Brad Cox horse with Luis Saez on the reins. 3 starts, 2 wins, 1 second. Has a nice speed figure. Has that press the pace / stalker type running style. Sets up perfectly for this race. I thought First Mission could give Mage an absolute run for the money. Not meant to be because the horse is out of the race. All right, so what do we got here? So John likes National Treasure, Blazing Sevens, Red Route 1. Yeah, the odds are 6-1. You're right. Big red. The track take and breakage is so profoundly dismissed, yet race bettors are treated with contempt. Until racing is overhauled, its flaws will stand. Yeah. Valid point. All right, so went over the horses. All right, horses to ignore. This is what I'm saying to you. I told you Chase the Chaos doesn't even deserve to be in this race, if you ask me. Qualified, obviously, but this horse is going to finish dead last. I can promise you of that. Coffee with Chris, close in 6th. Not worth it. Red Route Run, not one of my favorite horses here. Don't like the way the horse has been performing as of late. Does not have that speed. It has a good speed figure, but I don't think that the horse is going to be able to come through and perform well. Has a lot of races under the belt, not a lot of not a lot of wins or anything to show for it, and I think that's going to continue here. Obviously, good trainer with Asmussen, good jockey with Joel Rosario, but at this point with jockeys and stuff, you're splitting hairs because these are probably 7 of the top 10 jockeys in the world. All right. So the horses I like, okay? Well, you're going to be like, well, degen, there's 7 horses. You're picking 4 of them. I'm not picking 4 of them, all right? These are the horses that I do like that I am watching closely. Again, same thing as last time where I posted the picks in Discord like about 2 hours before race time. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to be watching what the horses are looking like throughout the morning and seeing if there's any late news that comes in on any of the horses. All right, so the horses I like are the 3 Mage, 1 National Treasure, the 6 Perform, and the 7 Blazing Sevens. All right, and early consensus from degen right now is I'm going Mage 1, National Treasure 2, Blazing Sevens 3. All right, this is what I was saying where it's kind of tough to make a ton of money in this one. I am picking the 2 favorites here. Not super surprising, I guess, with the caliber of horses in this race. But Mage and National Treasure are going to be an exacta for me. Mage, National Treasure, and Blazing Sevens will be the trifecta for me. And then if I get a super in there, I will put Perform. But I think these 4 horses are going to be finishing 1, 2, 3, 4. Not in that exact order. I think it's going to go Mage, National Treasure, Blazing Sevens, Perform. But, up to you what you want to bet on. Again, I'll put those picks out in Discord tomorrow. All right. But that's the end of the horse breakdown. Again, not so many horses in this race. There's only 7 of them. All right. But I think Mage gets the job done here. I think Mage gets the second leg, does well in this race, and we'll be looking for the 3rd leg of the Triple Crown in 2 weeks to come. I think National Treasure gives Mage a great run for the money here. I think comes up slightly short, and I think Blazing Sevens here could pose a very interesting threat at the end of the race. Will the horse nudge it out? It's possible. Do I think Mage will be able to run well enough to hold off Blazing Sevens? Yes, but I do think Blazing Sevens comes in quite nicely at the end, hits the board. So again, top 3 are going to be Mage, National Treasure, and Blazing Sevens. All right. Anyone have any questions or anything? Anything you want me to discuss more? Put them in chat. What I can do here is, for those of you who missed it in the beginning, because I see there's a few more people watching now, I'll go back to here And not that page. This page. For the Black Eyed Susan race, that's today. My horses here are the 9, the 4, and the 3. All right, so 9, 4, 3 for the Black Eyed Susan. And then for the Derby right now, the picks are 3, 1, 7. Okay? If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, we can get out of here. We can close the show, and we can get to watching some golf, which is what I'll be doing after this, and watching some horses later on this afternoon. But I don't see any questions, so I hope you guys have a great afternoon, a great weekend. Did I get your Discord message? I'll check. I'll check after this. And yeah, I'll let you know. Picks will be in Discord later this afternoon. All right. So they are coming. There's some good soccer, like I said, kicking off this afternoon. So I will check that out. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. Enjoy watching the races this weekend. And I will see you all on Monday. Peace.